That's why they set up a republic. And a republic is a rule of law. So what law did they mean? They meant natural law. Our forefathers called on natural law as justification for rebellion in the Declaration of Independence. And later they established our government on the same principle. Natural law can be summed up as this: to live honestly, to hurt no one, and to give everyone his due. You may have heard of natural law referred to under one of its other names. It's also known as higher law, natural rights, human dignity, or justice. God, He called it the knowledge of good and evil. History proves the universality of this law. Ancient civilizations wrote their own codes of law that were based in natural law. The Bible tells us of its origin, but the ancient Greeks wrote of it without any knowledge of the Bible. It's universal. Natural law is called natural law because this knowledge is born into each and every person. It's part of our nature. In other words, everyone's born knowing the difference between right and wrong. They're absolutes. There's a line in the sand that we must not cross. And although few have actually heard of natural law, we all know its principles inherently and we live by them. Anybody that is born without this knowledge, inborn, is deemed insane, and we put them in a padded room. And anybody that intentionally defies it is locked away. And it's this knowledge of natural law that's allowed civilizations like ours to grow and flourish. Civilizations that turn against natural law wither and die. And we know plenty of civilizations that turn their back on natural law. Iraq under Saddam, Germany under Hitler, the Soviet Union under its very communist leaders. We know what a danger it is for a country to lose its morality. So natural law tells us we must live responsibly. We must provide for ourselves so that we don't take away from others. We must honor contracts that we make. We must respect the rights of others. We must seek peace in our actions. Also, we must each individually fulfill moral duties towards others as we deem appropriate. Human dignity dictates that we care for the sick, weak, and defenseless. And we have the right to expect out of that same set of morals out of the people we live with and around. And so realize that any government official that breaks natural law has broken our social contract and therefore must be removed from the system. It's our right and our job to do it. So now that we've acknowledged a justice that was born into us, we got to look at capitalism. Capitalism in America is under attack. But should it be? Capitalism is the massive economic force that has propelled us to become a world superpower. Capitalism has provided for us a standard of living that is unequaled in most of the world. In America, even the poor live better than most Europeans. So many people in the world just wish they could be poor in America. Right. We're lucky people. So what drives capitalism? It's a healthy self-interest supported by freedom. In a capitalist society, a person works because he knows that he will be compensated for the amount and quality of work he does. Self-interest will compel a person to work in the most efficient way until they earn a standard of living that is suitable to them. The self-interest that drives capitalism is sometimes characterized as greed, but it is not. It's motivation and responsibility. It's just compensation for a skill or effort of work. And if demand calls for a skill that is in short supply, it means that certain skill is worth more. It means that, and if that skill is worth more, then it means more people are going to go out and learn that skill. After more people learn that skill, the less it's going to be worth. This is what we call the invisible hand at work. That's not the government hand. Wherever the government sticks its hand into capitalism, into the marketplace, capitalism collapses around it. So adding all these parts together, we have a foundation for an argument against the fiscal policies of the Obama administration and current legislature. And this is more than just a complaint over high taxes. The stimulus plan, along with other policies, is going to take money from producers and a future generation and will be given to looters who do not even earn their own living. The money is going to be handed out to foreign nations, and even hostile ones at that. The money is going to be given to extreme political groups. It's going to be given to select businesses. However, the money will not be used in a way that will fuel business overall in America. And that's our money that they're going to be using. It spits in the face of everything that our forefathers created. So what do we have when the government oversteps its social contract, defies natural law and justice with all types of fairness legislation, and cripples our economy with deceptively named stimulus legislation and nationalization on top of that? We've got the situation that we're in now, and it's very dire. The changes that we see happening are threatening the very foundation that our country was built on. Some question our country's future, but Americans have a history of beating the odds. It was America that fought off the strongest country in the world for its independence. It was Americans that settled the frontier. It was Americans that saved Europe from 2 world wars. It is America that Americans that stared down the Soviet Union and made them blink. Americans are exceptional, but we can beat the odds again. This situation, it's been a long time coming. I say the country's sick, and it's been sick a while. The symptoms have been reported in the news for years, and it's a type of cancer, socialism. It started with a few diseased minds dispersed throughout the country. And these anomalies, these cancer cells, grew uncontrolled until we, the people, were asked to make a choice of treatment last election. The options we were given were chemotherapy and radiation, or surgery, or continued observation. In the primaries, Republicans were first given the choice between surgery and continued observation. Had they chosen a strong leader that embodied the founding principles of this nation, we could have cut out that cancer and been quicker to recover and proceed in the success that's characteristic of our history. Instead, Republicans opted for a candidate that monitored the situation but would not work towards a cure.